First of all,
well, we're talking on a scale of days here, aren't we?
Yeah. So what are you doing?
Portal opens. We all rejoin each other.
The first thing we need to do is...
We need to come up with a plan.
First step is come up with a PR explanation for the whole Demon Medusas thing. I mean...
New threats are coming to this city, and we need to shore up all of our military to protect against any possible danger.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then we also need long-term solutions for this as well.
And we have to put someone else in charge.
We need
come
to
up with
basically eliminate the entire power structure and replace it with new individuals.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta
So then let's determine the power structure.
But we have to destroy that power structure while still keeping the military organization intact. Basically, we need to look at this like a big old house of cards, and there's one card up here that's really nice, the defense, and we need to knock everything out and replace it with that card staying intact. That's what we're doing right now.
Oh, I do love games of chance.
I don't think this is a game of chance.
No, there's a lot of chance involved with this.
A lot of chance that if you fail, you have successfully doomed an entire...
I have a question. I have a question for all of you. How much city planning and or maintenance experience do you all have?
I believe among the group, none.
Why don't we call it an expert?
Is Charles familiar with the way the city runs?
I mean, you've got a
Yes.
little bit of background.
You actually were technically in the governance of the city.
I actually know how the city runs.
Well, and how many years ago was that?
It was about... That's my child. It was about 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Well, you have some
It
information.
wasn't...
However,
You and Tanar would make a very good start.
that was my thought exactly, actually.
Alright.
Tanar, you're temporarily replacing the captain of the guard. Until we find a better one.
He is slightly busy. At
No,
best, we're going to get
Tanar is
words
busy.
of advice.
However, yeah, that was the thing. He can advise us on the situation.
Also, he has a pregnant wife.
That's fair.
He can't leave.
Essentially, the best we can hope for is a seat at his council table.
Well, we have instant portal access between here and there.
Yes.
Precisely.
Fast travel.
Yay!
And thankfully, the servants know better than to go in this vault.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess our plan is with Tanar and Terrell's combined efforts, restructure the power seat of the city, while at the same time through Faust, myself, and Duncan liquidating all of these assets so we can use them A, to fund our own operations, but also B, to fund replacing things in the city.
I'd like money.
Alright, so you travel back.
Because I can alter self at will, I can indefinitely look like this man. So
You find Tanar. He's sitting at a meeting with several boring people trying to figure out politically stabilizing this continent as you killed the Emperor.
We could also, you also mentioned a friend of yours who's trying to stabilize the continent on this land.
yes,
Theoretically, he could assist as well.
I think he's got his hands full at the moment.
His ideas might be
since talking.
slightly too radical as well. I imagine the instant we tell him the exact state of this city...
Oh yes, his first battle plan will be to have the entire military ride on a glorious crusade to go and kill the dragon directly.
No, his first plan of action will involve tigers running through the streets, breaking every chain they can find.
You're not wrong.
Let's go to Tanar first.
They have such confidence in Senstaku.
I have full confidence that Senstaku would do exactly what Senstaku would do. I have full confidence in that.
They're not 100% wrong.
Yes, that's right.
They're not 100% right either. He is a battlefield commander.
But they're also not entirely wrong.
Like he's not a monarch. He is a commander of people, though.
Yes. All right. So you find Tanar, and it's pretty easy to pull him away from what he's doing.
So now, would you like to help us stabilize the city that is under imminent dragon attack? Oh wait.
We need some
I
advice.
feel like you guys are cursed. What?
We are.
What nation have you destabilized? I didn't even think there was a nation left to destabilize. I thought they were already all unstable.
Apparently, we leave chaos in our way.
Technically not a nation.
I say, It's a city.
So we went to the city where I used to be married to the Duke, and we kind of killed him, and he deserved it. He really did.
Tanar, let me make a sentence that is 100% true, and you will completely understand why this man needed to die. He is worse than I am.
That's actually true, yes.
There you go.
Carry on.
Nice. So now.
Hold on one moment. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright, so Tanar was telling... Yes, you were...
We were telling Tanar about the situation.
We
Yes.
explained the situation to Tanar in
Yeah,
thorough
we
detail.
explained what happened.
So,
Apparently, because we leave a mess everywhere we go, we have to clean this one hut.
That's typically what you do when you leave a mess behind, yes?
alright, so what do you need to know first?
Well, first we need to... The power structure of the city is about as quality as the man who once ruled it, so we need to completely replace
I
You
would-
still look like him,
No, I
don't
don't.
you? Oh, okay.
I would
thought
presume
you-
that it is under a form of martial law, based on imperial standards if he was an imperial loyalist.
He was.
That would mean that the captain of the guard is indeed his second in command, and any further continues down the line of military rather than any sort of bureaucratic system. In fact, all his bureaucrats probably had all their assets seized and became, rather useless peons for handling minor day-to-day matters.
But the captain of the guard is not a good person.
The entire
I
power
don't
structure
imagine
is
that
as
he would
bad as
allow
it is.
anyone to be in the chain of command who's a good person. He wants to ensure
So
that...
we killed the captain of the guard.
We need to replace the entire chain of command.
So we killed them all.
Not right now.
That would be the entire military.
You have, I think you've stumbled upon the problem, not the
Yes.
solution.
Right.
Right. We have to find a
We
couple
need to keep
of
the military in one piece while hopefully making this city better than we left it.
Now, I presume that not everybody there is actively the worst human on the planet.
No.
Simply the
some
ones
are
in power.
enslaved.
Well, many of them are, though.
Simply,
It's mainly just the people in power.
But
Well,
think
those
about
are-
how power was maintained there.
take away that.
Fear.
Right.
So
Killing
we
the
have to
generates
love
more fear.
everybody.
Alright.
I
Like
would
little
very
purpose
much
songs.
love for the leader of the city to have a sudden change of heart and leave a peasant uprising of his own peasants.
As amusing as a peasant uprising would be,
That probably wouldn't solve the problem.
you have to maintain an amount of the military presence. Getting the peasants on your side is indeed an excellent plan. However, you have to do it in such a manner that doesn't cause them all to either die or kill everyone in the military. You have to strike a balance.
seeing as
I have a
we have
curiosity.
some great degree of control with both sides, however,
I have a curiosity. We've the town in question has recently undergone significant demonic invasion that was driven back by the force of a small handful of elite individuals mostly whose fault it was that it was there in the first place. But aside,
You just hears the story from Taro.
that aside, this would be a great opportunity to hand out punishments, as was the standard, and replacements as rewards for valor, shifting up the command structure somewhat in a slightly less hectic and I'm just randomly killing people instead. Having a reason and a logic for the replacements will make it go a lot smoother. Also give the opportunity to promote those who have more merit than the ones who are currently in charge.
And not to mention, perhaps, obviously a complete change of heart would be uncharacteristic, but
Completely.
the fact that outsiders were quite key in helping to repel this invasion would be able to give some leeway for the persona of the Duke to perhaps cut certain outsiders a little bit of slack.
Certainly. And also, it was a statement made in jest. However, the two Galadiers nod toward each other. Having a newly appointed court wizard would do quite a lot actually in maintaining some semblance of order over the military that might not agree with the changes.
The Imperial situation with wizards is touch and go at best.
Yes, but
Unfortunately, the Empire doesn't exist anymore, and this is basically a sovereign city-state.
Yes, but do realize that it is full of Imperial loyalists. You have to phrase that very carefully.
certainly. But it'll go a long way in allowing us to maintain some level of don't let the evil people uprise and take control.
When Taro thinks back to like the beginning of the marriage, like when she first married him and everything, was he different, like a little kinder?
He had a much kinder facade. Like, he was never a great human being, but he knew how to come off well to his people. You imagine knowing him. Roll me an insight check.
I think that's 19, 20, 19.
It'd be your presumption that when the Empire fell, his backbone, his support, fell away a bit because he'd always relied on his title. He was a man of starch traditionalism. And you imagine that, not the dragons, is what led him to issue martial law.
Okay.
Martial law meant that he had to move away from rule by deception to rule by tyrannical force, and is what made him behave in honestly a more honest manner, as he was.
When I was first married to him, he was never a good man, but he was kinder. He put up more of a facade the way he ruled.
Perhaps that facade should return.
I think that would be more convincing.
How are you going to convince them?
Well,
What are you going to do to say that he's had this sudden change of heart? What has spawned it?
The Empire is being reformed.
The return of his child.
His family has returned.
That is true.
A child does much to soften a father's gaze. Or can, depending. Believable, at least.
Interesting.
Would also potentially give Kai a place to stay that was slightly more safe.
And
Don't think I want to leave him there.
as also as much in jest as it was made, speaking of merit promotions on the battlefield, Dane was the one organizing most of the soldiers in defense against the demons. He might make a good replacement for the guard captain.
He's also a native of that continent, isn't he?
Yes.
No, he's not.
He's not?
No.
Dane isn't.
He's not.
He's not.
He's not.
No, he's from the Triptych Woods.
No.
No.
Oh no, he's from the other
He's
continent who came
I
to.
met
who came
him
to
in the
He's a
Triptych
native. He has
Woods.
blonde hair.
Yeah,
and
he's-
round
yeah,
eyes.
He's one of the wood elves.
Yeah.
No, he's not a wood elf.
Oh,
He's a human.
he's still human? Okay, never
He
mind.
was the first one that we met from this continent.
Yeah.
But he went over there.
But yeah,
He
he's
also
gone.
doesn't. He speaks
Yeah, no,
the
that's where I
language.
met him,
He speaks
but-
Imperial Common, but with a heavy accent.
Yeah.
Replacing the entirety of the command structure with outsiders might be a step too far.
But the captain, at the very least, needs to go.
Yes.
I agree.
There might be those there among the bureaucrats as well.
Yes.
Don't forget, they did have power before military law, and they wouldn't have simply been executed.
Right.
I'm sure if we can...
Any of the
We'd have to
bureaucrats
sit
who
down,
were
interview them, and
more
see-
reasonable
see
human
what's
beings.
I can try to find my way through the city, find who here is actually trying to do good, or at the very least, who isn't actively trying to do...
That might be the second one might be an easier one to solution.
Not trying to do.
Well, dude.
Our new head adjudicator, then.
Temporarily. If defense against dragons is particular is the
It's the
issue,
key here.
the key here. I may also want to look over what if any of the naval forces they have and try to see what we can do there.
Attack by sea is just as likely as attack from the land portion, so...
Do you happen to know any particularly adept sailors that are quite good?
I know one gnome.
Who doesn't like
Yes,
to be
she's
tied
still here.
down.
Yeah, she.
Tied down isn't necessarily the issue.
I feel like dragon...
She doesn't like to be tied down, but you tell her, hey, go running around the coast killing everything. She'll probably be fine with it.
I
He
th- I-
removes the kneecap.
I think she'd like to have some dragon kneecaps.
Yes.
I agree.
I don't know that lung dragons have kneecaps.
They have legs.
Shoulder blades.
This
I think Pi will be willing to find out.
sounds like exactly the kind of solution that got us into this mess.
Oh no.
So.
No, this is a step.
In this
to it.
particular,
This is
in
just
this
a-
particular case, this is a form of defense rather than simply wreaking havoc across the countryside.
Yeah.
Defense
It's
by
it's-
reaching havoc across the
It's
countryside.
controlled violence.
It's controlled violence. Yes. It's.
You're not literally just going in and being like, oh, I don't like this person, kill.
Almost.
Alright. So you go back to the Arcanate, or are you still...
If we're going to talk to
Pretty much
we're going to
no.
talk to your sailor friend, we might want to go ahead and do that since we're here. And I can try and see if I can get her boat to the other continent.
I may need to have a talk with Kai. Poor confused little thing.
He's gonna grow up just like his dad.
I hope not.
He's already not.
He's
like
already
his dad.
seen. He's already seen.
He's
so
already a
much.
werewolf.
Poor confused child.
A werefox.
Werewolf. Speaking of which, how much longer until his next change?
It's a while.
Oh, okay,
Like the
good.
full moon was like we haven't been a lot.
It's like
Hasn't
3
been very
weeks.
long.
Because that's exactly what we need right now.
Is it were?
Also, there's no moon in the dimension of Mordecai's magnificent mansion, so you can just sleep there for the days of the full moon.
Would that work?
No.
Darn.
I mean,
It doesn't
at
do
least
it-
shut him in the
Get out.
mansion and not let him out and he can rampage all he
This
feels
is
like.
also true.
Lock him in his
Just lock
room.
him in his room.
Tell all the servants
Give him
to...
some
The servants are
toys.
spectral.
Yeah. Exactly, so we can't maul them.
Exactly.
Boy, go in there. Close up. Alright, so to the docks.
Alright.
Alright.
We go to the docks.
You go to the docks. It's not hard to find Pi.
It's not hard to find her ship either.
Yeah, her ship's a little distinctive.
I'm going to see what I can do to potentially get the ship there while you talk to the person.
Have you ever met Pi?
No.
You're about to meet an
Oh, yeah,
fascinating
oh,
gnome.
Her
yeah.
ship is made of kneecaps.
You know what happened.
She's a gnome.
She's a gnome.
So you walk on the docks and you see a ship indeed made entirely out of kneecaps of various sizes. There are some dinosaur kneecaps, there are some people kneecaps, there are some little tiny rodent kneecaps. They don't serve a whole lot of purpose, but you know.
Decorative.
But bone being is very good at floating, so it floats.
Somehow.
And you see Pi, she appears to have gotten into a fist fight with a couple drunken sailors. And she has gone for her signature move and has punched out their kneecap, and they're all like groaning on the ground, holding their legs that they can no longer stand on.
I'm going to walk over to her. 2 words. Dragon kneecaps.
Her eyes become so large. As you approach, by the way, to clarify, this is the shortest gnome you've ever met in your life. She has a pair of morning stars over her back that are larger than she is, and you have no idea how on earth she would ever actually wield them, but you don't doubt that she can.
Also, I'm going to start healing people that have been kneecapped.
She looks at you. Where?
Other continent, but
northern
we
end
have
of
someone that can help.
But how do I get my ship over there?
We have someone who can
I
help you with
start
that.
opening a hole in reality.
Can't fit a ship
I'm
through
gonna
a
try to
maximum
get
of
it
8 foot wide hole.
I'm
No.
gonna try to widen it as much as I can.
I don't think you
I
can
thought
make
you
it
were going to
wider
have to
than
cast some
8
kind
feet.
of spell with this.
No.
Could I teleport the ship?
Can we shrink the ship?
These are both questions.
I don't have that spell currently. Can I look for a spell crystal that has enlarge reduce in it?
Enlarge reduce also affects.
Could you reduce it enough
Theoretically.
to get it through that much of a...
If there
And
was,
then-
if I could
And then
custom,
you have to bring it
if
back up.
Augustin would allow me to invent a spell that I could like spit, because I don't actually know mechanically how to make spells. Like I know how to make a spell like if I was the GM, but I don't know exactly how as a wizard I would invent a brand new spell.
Halves in all dimensions.
So enlarge or reduce is normally on creatures, but it'll reduce objects.
No,
I mean-
object.
Yeah,
That's
reduce
neither
Reduce
worn nor
object.
carried. However, that's really big. Even in half, but even with half dimensions, it wouldn't fit through.
Could I have it and then have somebody else have it again?
In
'Cause it's
case,
a
of, in,
construct-
in case of two spells in the same target, more powerful spell takes precedence. You can't have two of the same spell on the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like I don't actually know. I don't mechanically in your world. I don't know how
I
about
don't.
inventing a spell, creating custom spells.
And I don't think, yeah, you can't teleport. Hold on, a single object you can see within range.
Oh, I can just teleport.
It must be able to fit. No, it must be able to fit entirely inside a 10-foot wide cube.
Oh.
I mean, her ship.
If it was halved, could it fit inside?
If it was halved, if it was halved and the mass was taken, like she can take it apart enough where you could fit in a teleport, barely.
If you could reduce it. First.
I'd have to find the spell reduce though. 'cause
Yeah,
I don't
which
have
you
it.
can find. I mean, you have access to the Elven Towers. It's like 50 gold. Oh no, it's a second level spell. Yeah, 50 gold to obtain the spell.
Yeah.
So we reduce the ship and teleport it with the mass down instead.
Yeah.
Is it a second level spell?
Yes.
It might not be a spell I can use. So.
It's transmutation.
Oh, enlarge reduce. Yes, obviously. And actually, it costs me only half as much because I'm a transmutation wizard.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will learn enlarge reduce. And well, I'd have to. It's gonna have to wait until I. Well, no, because enlarge enhance reduce is a concentration spell, but the other one's not. So I'll spend a day learning enlarge reduce and then resting, so I can get my spell slots back.
So what are you doing for that day?
Yeah. For the rest of that
But
day,
you
we have
probably
to.
need some rest, because wasn't it like
Yeah.
evening?
It doesn't take me. It doesn't take me long to learn it.
It is indeed evening. But you probably want to do something before too terribly long because they're going to wonder why you're locked in that vault.
Right.
Yeah. No, we need to sit back.
Send you back.
She's gonna tell Kai that we're gonna play pretend, and if he does a really good job, he's gonna get a special toy.
All right.
I will send
Oh man.
you guys back to deal with the
Bribery
town.
works, man.
By the way, Taro, could you help Duncan regrow his arm? It'll be very useful.
Fine. I'll cast regenerate on Duncan.
Okay.
She grabs your arm, sticks it up to your shoulder, and casts, and it reseals itself.
Not that you deserve it.
Okay.
So I will send the two of you back, and Yi,
And Kai.
and well, and the children as well.
Kids
And the three of us can
and run around sell stuff, I guess. Yeah.
start liquidating assets
We're around
And he
sell
gets our
stuff
stealing
and
stuff.
and get this ship,
commission a privateer.
yes, and get this ship to the other continent.
All right.
Yikes.
So send these three of the kids back, and then start selling stuff, and then sleep. The next day, shrink the boat, send it over, keep selling stuff.
All right. So you guys go ahead and each of you roll me, if you're selling stuff, roll me persuasion checks to try to find some buyers.
I will give whoever wants to roll that advantage by aiding you.
Okay. What
I will perform the aid action and give you an
Okay.
advantage.
So
I feel like you might have the highest charisma of the group.
What's your
Yeah, who
charisma, Caitlin?
12.
12? What's your
That's probably the highest of the group.
That's part of the highest of the group.
What's your strength?
I got a
8.
9. Mine's 9.
So you have the highest
You have
charisma
the
of the group.
highest
+1.
I can.
Wonderful.
Because it turns out the 3 highest charisma characters just went over to the city. this
Yeah,
morning.
are the ones that are going to stabilize the
I do
city.
have
What's your
intimidation.
charisma? Oh, you got
20.
Intimidation will not help.
So I'll give you advantage on your persuasion roll.
It turns out that you can't intimidate people into buying your fine art.
Buy this artwork!
Look at it, it's beautiful.
Grab their
well, I can
face.
go to the street and just
Admire
look
it.
up.
Just grab
So
their
pretty.
face and shove it towards the yard.
You know you want it, nerd!
There's only one thing that can make this painting better. More red.
Give me money, Fort Huffer.
You roll with it.
What is happening?
I did roll a 15 though.
So that would be 14.
No.
You rolled a
I
16?
rolled 16.
Okay.
It was -1 is the out.
I rolled a 19,
15.
but I'm giving him 8.
You know that tray goes back into the desk.
Well, yes, but that wouldn't be any fun.
So, Caitlin, what's your persuasion?
So,
+2.
oh, I got the half +2.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's only +1. So if I roll a 16, it'll be a 17.
Alright, what did Caswell get?
So I get
So you rolled a 7. I'm aiding
rolled
him, so you can still
17.
roll. So you rolled a 17.
okay.
21.
17 and 21.
Alright. Day 1, you're able to get 648 gold off of stuff, and you still have more stuff.
Yeah,
a lot
a
of
ton of stuff.
Alright, what are you guys doing in the so the 3 of you reappear in the vault.
I
Yeah.
imagine the first thing we want to do is make sure that all of us have some kind of royal insignia so that we can basically go where we want and do what we want to do.
Yes.
Mainly me.
Yes. Walk with me and look regal.
Like if you need it, I can make a ring.
Oh no, I'm going to go raid his room for his
yeah.
signet rings.
Turns
Right,
out,
you get the ring.
we now have. He's replacing that
If
guy.
you need more than
so-
one, let me know.
Did you take his farm?
Yeah, I'm going to alter self back into him.
I mean, this guy probably has to hand out these things occasionally. He probably
Alright,
has a whole
so-
desk full of them.
Or you might not.
Don't worry, it's not actually him. Alright, so,
I like it.
my new lawmaster. Walk with me.
You walk out of the vault.
Yeah.
You are met by the captain of the guard.
We know his name, don't we?
Do I know his name? Is it the same guy that was there before?
Yes,
Okay.
Onbo.
Onbo?
Onbo. Okay. I will tell you that before we go up
Yeah,
there.
so. Onbo.
Yes, we were wondering where you went.
Making plans for how to deal with the inadequacy of my guards in preparing and putting off this demonic assault.
Well, the demon has been dealt with, my lord.
With the help of numerous outsiders who should not have been necessary.
Well, my lord, we simply did figure that as long as the outsiders were here, they were better off risking their lives than the valuable lives of our people.
I'll make a note of your cowardice when I'm deciding what to do with the restructuring of the guard.
Roll me intimidate.
28.
No, but he rolled a 4, so. Yes, sir. He slinks away. A man runs up to you. Duke. He's a much older, fat man. He appears to be dressed as a bureaucrat. Roll me a wisdom. No, roll me. Yeah, roll me wisdom.
So under your wisdom.
Roll under your
Here's just straight wisdom.
Nope.
So 15. Your wisdom
Is
is
a 10.
You can't remember this guy's name. He's been a bureaucrat forever. Duke.
Yes.
We are trying to figure out how to rebuild from the demon attack. He's clearly out of breath. This man has probably never run in his life. And, well, we need funds. And the people need to know that they're safe. My lord, what do we do?
Having trouble.
Well, was this not the original role of you and every other bureaucratic house within this city?
Well, my lord, it's under military law. We don't have that.
Well, you have that power again. Get to making sure the people feel safe, and you'll have your funds. Right now, we need to be prepared for future attacks.
But the captain...
The captain of the guard will not likely be remaining in his station for very long after his incompetence with this task. Prove yourself competent at calming the people, and you might be able to keep your position.
Roll me persuasion.
Hey, 29.
Yes, my lord, I shall need your seal.
Of course. And while you're at it, get me the names, lineages, and histories of every notable house in the city. I will need to know who I'm going to be calling upon for future tasks.
Of course, my lord.
And I will make my way into my room, get a signet ring, and give it to him.
Alright, he rushes out and begins working on that. The servants are rushing around. My lord, the boat is prepared.
Good. We're going to need to be sending emissaries to notable cities on the coast to retrieve. We're going to need privateers to prepare for future attacks.
Yes, my lord, we shall hold it ready for you.
Good. When I have a captain to set sail on that boat, I will let you know.
Yes, my lord. Runs off. Now that you have walked out of the room and you're not being immediately questioned, what you do next?
city planning, Sam.
Is Dane still here?
Oh yeah, Dane came with you.
Dane.
And Felda, you noticed, didn't come with you. She is out in the yard. So, on the one hand, the humans are very reticent to let a monstrosity like her near them. On the other hand, when they're having problems like missing an arm, they can't resist much as she's putting tourniquets on them and stopping them from dying. Yeah. So they've tolerated her.
I'm gonna go out there and be a hero. You know, earn a little bit more trust as well.
Really quick.
Always needed.
A small pinprick hole opens up next to Faust's ear. By the way, if it is necessary, I can theoretically produce ample fortifications that might be useful in the defense of the town very quickly.
Good to know.
Alright, roll me a raw charisma check.
Mighty Fortress.
Yeah, I know. It's a good spell.
It's a good spell.
Yep. Roll me a d20, try to get under your charisma.
D20 under charisma.
Also,
Gotcha.
can I find the Mighty Fortress spell in the Elf Tower?
Nice.
Yes, what level is it?
8.
8th level spell. Alright, it's probably going to cost a pretty penny.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much.
Let's, 400.
I have that on hand.
Okay.
That was a 2. 14.
14?
2. Yeah, I rolled a 2 on my
Okay,
14.
oh wow. Yeah, so what are you doing to be inspiring?
Thank you.
It needs to be done, apparently.
I'm going to try to sort of get a hold of the general situation and try to help with the basically stand out there and try to, through my expertise in knowledge of this sort of thing, sort of informing the guards, helping them organize stuff, and in the meanwhile, as I can, I'll
I make
heal the people that
I make sure that all three of us have a signet, by the way.
Yeah. So they're running casualty reports. They're doing medicine stuff. You know, you're passing by, be like, "Oh, he's a goner." Boink, not anymore. All that sort of stuff. You get a lay. So you get the feeling that these guards are the. Roll me investigation check because you're probably going to be gaining some information while you're doing this.
Sweet. If only I was better at investigation, but whatever. Yeah, I don't learn anything.
All right. Yeah. No. They're taking reports. They've locked down some sectors to make sure that nothing happens. All that sort of stuff. They're redirecting food from non-essential areas.
Non-essential areas?
Yep.
I want to learn more about these non-essential areas.
Roll me.
Actually, hold on. Do I?
Yeah, great food and water.
Yes, I have prepared food and water actually prepared as spell slots. I'm going to start using that to sort of alleviate this need of pulling food from non-essential areas.
You have to roll me a persuasion check to prevent them from doing that, even with the food.
Even with it ready-made?
Yeah.
Right there.
Good thing.
Persuasion?
Good thing charisma's a paladin skill.
Good thing persuasion's a paladin skill.
Good thing I have my beguiling influence back.
22.
All right. You're able to produce enough food to convince them to leave the resources alone.
You also have the signet ring, so you know you have authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have.
I try not to use it too much.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want to push people around. I want to make them realize that I'm right.
He's very persuasive.
Your job is to push people around when they need to be pushed around. My job is to make sure that people like me and make sure that people think I'm doing the right thing, because I probably am.
It's a good combination.
It is.
And right now, you're dealing with the bureaucrats and the high-ups, and he's dealing with the people who, the little people who
The people on the ground.
are more numerous. So,
And I'm not dealing with any of them because
hopefully,
they're peasants.
hopefully, if we have control over both the top and the bottom of this
Duncan's
whole
not doing
system,
anything
we can
good 'cause
start
they're
doing some
targets.
interesting things.
it also helps that the three of you are natives to this land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And Dragonborn are actually very highly respected in this city.
Fortunately, I'm
But
not,
you- but
I'm
they
not
can't
being a
see
dragonborn
you.
right now.
So unfortunately, that
You're
doesn't
even
help.
more respected because
I'm
you
the
are,
ruler.
you're the duke right now.
I am
I
the
mean,
Duke right now.
theoretically, you could like unpolymorph if you want to fake being someone.
Oh no, I
coming
can,
into the
I
town,
can, I can
so-
absolutely, I can be two people basically.
Yeah.
Alright, what
You
are
can
the
be a
two
number
of
of
you
people.
doing while he's
Yeah, I can be a
going
lot of
and
people.
heroing?
I need to retrieve Dane.
Yes.
I have two possible positions for you, and I need to know which one you'd rather do. One, replacing the captain of the guard because he needs to leave. Two, taking that boat we've got prepared and finding other towns that can assist us along the coast. We need privateers.
Well, I'm not much of a sailor.
You're a good battlefield commander.
Might have that covered because there's a ship made of kneecaps coming.
I'll do what I can.
One ship does not a fleet make.
No, put him
yes,
on
this
that
one
ship.
does.
Alright. Well, the new captain of the guard will be getting demoted for cowardice soon, so...
Alright, let's see how you pull this one off.
Well, you were already... Fortunately, we already have a mark in our assistance. You were already leading them in the battle against the demon. So.
Yeah, but they're also xenophobic racists.
They are, but...
Faust has a show of power in pocket.
Yeah, I do. I have multiple shows of power in pocket.
Just have the guard meeting outside. We're currently erecting defenses to face an oncoming dragon attack. A fortress rises out of the ground behind him. And
Also,
I need a new captain of the guard.
yeah, and also I can, like, I'm playing the guise of a dragon blood sorcerer.
Yeah.
I can summon illusory dragons.
Yep.
Also, in the middle of all this hearing, I just thought of a good excuse to get a court wizard in here. I'm going to start raising the question of how this portal even formed. I'm going to start trying to push it a little bit more with the guards and whatever authorities are showing up.
And
try to push the issue.
Faust is also going to make sure to be present as the Duke for when this question is being asked.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to emphasize that we need people to answer these questions because fundamentally we kind of don't know what's
we need
going
to know
on.
more. Okay, roll me persuasion.
And I will give you advantage by being present and helping with this.
Which is good because that was a 5. And that was a 4.
So what'd you get?
No. 13?
Alright, you put the question in people's minds. They're not too big on it one way or another, but they start thinking about it.
I don't need it to be urgent.
Yeah.
I just need to make sure that, this can get raised in some kind of a meeting
So
a
you
couple
two
days.
are on that. Torel, what are you doing?
I mean, she's just following him around. Like,
But I mean, like, the two of them are more watching the situation. Like, you can be in the area and still do separate things.
okay.
There are enough people here who remember you that seeing you walk peaceably with the Duke kind of brings things back. Oh, what do you do with the guy's wife, by the way?
Yeah, that was what I was about to just bring up. She's still sitting there sewing.
I mean,
She just looks terrified, but yes.
Poor thing. Yeah, no, Tara will bring up to him. We should probably do something with her.
What do you propose?
I don't know how to go about this. I mean, we should.
I
free
don't
her
think
from
she would be
these
particularly
horrifying-
well adjusted.
And she's not exactly. She seems to be somewhat brainwashed to this lifestyle.
I know. I'm not sure how to go about this.
The Duke does seem like a person who would immediately replace his new wife for one that he favored more, but what to do with her?
Well, just let her run the house.
Just let her go?
No, just let her run the house, and then you just step out and do the.
Manage
Like
certain
polygamy is
things.
going to be frowned upon.
I mean, manage
you can
certain-
keep her
Don't worry,
around.
Just keep her. To
Polygamy
take care
is
of the
frowned
house.
on.
It is?
Is
Yeah.
How do you know?
Just leave her in the house.
They're uncultured swine.
I mean, you would let her go, but I don't know, give her a position or something?
I have actively worked among these people for a long, not this specific city, but I have worked among the politics of the empire for a long time. Can I figure out how to shift her out without causing too much of a ruckus?
Frankly, the Torel especially knows. Torel just vanished. So can she.
Shouldn't kill her.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, but like,
I
New
did.
name.
honestly, anything other than her vanishing would be suspicious.
I did vanish. She can. You could give her money and just tell her to go.
Send her to the kingdom of the half-elves. Let them take care of her. Because they're nice people as
Have her
well.
go somewhere should be taken care of.
This is a good idea. So at one point I approach her.
New name, some money, send her to the
She's-
islands or something.
She's looking down, so she's not meeting your eye.
Look up at me.
She's not quite sure what to do. She kind of glances up and then looks down again.
Lock eyes with me.
She looks up at you and you see just terror in her eyes.
The illusion drops for about half a second because we're in a room alone. You are leaving. And the illusion goes back up.
She literally rolled a 1. She passes out.
Easily solved.
The couch now has a puddle on it.
You get that clean.
Galadir, are you listening?
Do you have a sending spell?
I don't. So
I'd probably check in every few, like on a regular basis. So
yeah. The next time you check in,
yeah.
I need this one to move somewhere else.
Do you have any suggestions?
Somewhere where she'll be safe.
The Wood Elf Kingdom tends to take in all manner of strays, and
Should be fine.
they owe us a favor, kind of.
You can send her there. Just make sure
Pack up a bunch of her
make sure
stuff.
she's
Come on.
well taken care of.
Pack her luggage. I'll go talk to them.
I'll gather some things for her.
Open a portal. Step out at the Wood Elf Kingdom. Fast travel.
It's easly arranged.
Yeah.
I love how we're just breaking geography right now.
So
It's great.
we've got an issue. And then okay, cool. Okay.
Well, he'd already memorized like every teleportation spell
Here.
in the game, so whatever.
I have I have teleportation circle, teleport, thunder step, far step, and misty step. So yeah, get her and her stuff taken there. She's a bit delicate in many senses of the word. Soft touch.
They take care of her.
With prestidigitation, I'll make sure to unsoil the couch.
Okay.
Cleaned. It's such a good spell.
It is. It's a perfect spell.
Best spell. Oh no, all my clothes are wet. Not anymore.
Alright.
Day 2, I would try to get one of them to help, Faust in particular, to help us sell some more stuff.
Do any of you want to help them sell stuff, or are you busy? Because it's the night, you just recovered. You haven't been able to set new authority yet.
I don't sleep, so I can help sell and then be back without resting.
You sell during the night. Roll me a...
Actually,
I'll aid you.
how many time zones apart are these two continents?
Several.
Like,
Yeah, no, it's day over there.
yeah. So you're running the city by day and selling by night, except you're really running the city by day and selling
And
by day
I only
too.
need 4 hours of sleep, so we can do this forever.
It's a good thing you don't have a sleep cycle to ruin.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Faust and I are the best pair for this. So I give you advantage on it.
Yeah, okay. So, persuasion, you said?
Yeah.
Good. That was a 4 and that was an 18. Good. 28.
Alright, you get... I rolled low, so you only get 396 gold.
Okay.
648 plus 396.
A number. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what number you said.
648
Yes.
plus 396.
I mean,
My brain is dead.
As I reach to find my phone wherever it was popped.
1,000 something.
1,044.
yeah.
Alright.
The Duke never sleeps.
Alright, it's the next day.
Over there. The next night over here.
Yes.
This is very confusing.
I send the ship over.
Alright. As you, so this will be, okay, so it's your day cycle, and
Yeah.
it's your night cycle.
Yeah.
So the ship comes, so as day dawns, you see a miniature ship that grows back into size and is being reassembled in your docks.
Alright, I head down to greet it.
The captain of the guard rushes up. My lord, we've discovered a strange ship. It's appeared. We're going to
What's his name?
detain it.
Onbo.
Onbo.
Onbo, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Onbo. Did I not tell you?
What, lady?
Text him, you're fired.
That you're relieved of your position.
Fired him via tweet.
My lord, we are under time of military law.
Yes, and the man who led the defense, actually led the defense against the demon, will be taking your place.
My lord, I've served you well for several years.
Yes, and with dragons on our doorstep, I don't need good service. I need the best service, and that's unfortunately not you.
Roll me intimidate.
So,
25.
I'm going to start spreading grand tales of
Dane.
the adventures of this, both of him and of this ship.
All right, roll me persuasion.
Everyone he starts appointing, I'm going to start making people like.
Roll me persuasion, bruh.
I'll do what I do best: regale people with stories in bars. That was a good time to roll well. 23.
Fantastic. All right. Yeah, the rumors begin. It doesn't take long.
Excellent.
I had 25 in division.
Yeah. He just sort of bows down. It runs off before you notice anything more about him.
before you kill them.
Before I kill myself.
No, you'll never see him again.
Yeah. And so I make sure to appoint Dane as the new captain of the guard,
Okay.
at least for the moment, until we can find someone better, so Dane doesn't have to stay here forever.
Yeah.
And then I make sure that Pi is appointed as the head of our current privateering fleet, which is forming just with her, and
Okay.
I give her the instruction to find any other privateers she can.
Okay.
And also dragon kneecaps.
And dragon kneecaps.
That will happen.
Yeah.
I imagine the latter will happen more than the former.
She hires a crew.
Mm-hmm.
And by hires, I mean convinces via intimidation a crew.
Coerces a crew.
Yes.
Basically,
She fits in with the Duke.
she finds individuals, and all of those individuals are put to work. Whether they are put to work working or put to work as the hull depends.
Yep.
Look, you have two options. Either you're on the ship,
Or you
or you are
On
the ship.
the ship.
So that's at least the start of the that's the start of the day.
Torel.
She's just staying by his side as he's doing this.
All right. We get to the mid-afternoon section. How far have you ventured into the city now?
I've been everywhere.
I'm reasonably confident trying to get a good lay of the city.
Roll me an investigation check. And then an
17.
roll me an insight check.
Yeah, when you have +10 on all 3 of the relevant charisma checks, it's great.
Yep. That's why I grabbed you for selling things.
13?
All right. So you find that there's an entire section of the city devoted to refugees.
Nice.
It's the worst slum imaginable. But they're safe, and you imagine this is where the food would have been diverted from.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I can give them a place to sleep.
So,
Food and stuff.
you find very quickly that this city has been the saving grace for refugees for hundreds of miles. Like, every nearby city has either been razed or converted to cults for the young Wrath.
Got a bunch of refugees.
Did they ever get that report back on the names and lineages of all the important people in the
yes.
city? Good.
So we've got all sorts of people, all walks of life here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all walks of life that were within the last few steps displaced.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think my first instinct right now, just to be able to get a good idea of what this place is like, is I'm basically going to follow the oath of the ancients as written in the book to a T. I will be the light. I'm going to be inspiring and helpful and curing diseases and healing people and selling food.
Roll me another raw charisma check.
We
Rolling
need a
under.
place to relocate the refugees at that point.
They can work in the fortress.
4.
It's a massive fortress. It's gonna
All
be staffed.
right.
It needs to be recast every day to keep
You
For 7
you
days.
begin.
for 7 days.
7 days.
Is it 7
So
days
how
or
are you
for a
going
year?
about
7
doing
days.
this? Are you kind of going through as a
Interesting.
banner
I have the
of
spell open right now.
righteousness
Interesting.
and change, or are you just sort of like ingratiating yourself in general to determine what to do later?
I need 7 diamonds worth 5.
I want to be fairly inconspicuous about it. Like, I'm not going to go all gung-ho, you know. I'm not going to go gung-ho about it, but for the most part,
Oh, no, you have
for the most
to
part,
make it
I
permanent, you have to cast
legitimately
on the
just
same
want
spot
to make
every
these
7
people's
days
lives
for a
better.
year.
And
The fortress
specifically,
lasts for
I
7
want
days.
to
Oh, every
find out a
7
little
days
bit
for
more
a year.
about them.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 primary
7.
objectives.
I can always teleport back. As long as
All
I have
right.
diamond.
Did you
Yeah.
find any more about them? What was the first one exactly?
Just making people's lives better.
Okay.
It'll have invisible
It's
servants. that
pretty
do
much a
what I want to do,
hodgepodge
but
of
it'll also
misfits
be a
and
fortress.
cast outs and refugees who had their cities burned to the ground by dragons.
Which would be good. 'cause
There's nothing unifying about
If we
them,
leave
and
it
that's
close,
kind
if
of
we
what
leave the
keeps them in
simulacrum
this
here,
situation and prevented
just
them from
command
doing
service.
anything against
That can be
you.
where the Duke like moves to or something.
Does that mean I can also start sort of tracking down people that used to be in power in other cities as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I want to
If you choose
start.
to get to
I
actually use
want to
this
start
stuff.
compiling
Yes, I'm
some knowledge
Players are
about
gonna be
people
campaign, I'm using
that
it every
could
time.
potentially
Oh, yeah.
start getting promotions.
All right.
Essentially,
To use the
I-
spell was designed.
I'm going to find promotion fodder. So
that'll be the rest of your day.
You get people from the high class to promote, and then I'll give you people from the lower classes to promote.
Also, I have a line of communication with Galadir. We're going to erect a new fortress.
Okay.
We're about to replace some poor housing with much better housing.
Perfect.
And so I would like to arrange it so that at the coronation of the new captain of the guard, Dane, it basically there's this long speech that Faust is very good at giving, very good at improvising.
Roll me a raw charisma check.
Yeah, and that's an 8 with my charisma of 20.
Yeah.
And so at the height of the speech, he's sort of, and to go with this new captain of the guard is a new set of fortifications to ensure that he will be able to protect this city against all threats.
I raise up a diamond and crush it in my hands.
And cast the Mighty Fortress spell.
And I cast the Mighty Fortress spell. A fortress of stone erupts from a square area of ground of your choice that you can see within range. The area is 120 feet on each side, and it must not have any buildings or other structures on it, so a clear open area. Any creatures in the area are homes to lift up its fortress, blah, blah, blah. The fortress has 4 turrets with square bases, each one 20 feet on the side and 30 feet tall, with 1 turret on each corner. The turrets are connected to each other by stone walls that are each 80 feet long, creating an enclosed area. Each wall is 1 foot thick and comprised of panels that are 10 feet wide and 20 feet tall. Blah 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 blah. I make a massive fortress. A staff of 100 invisible servants obeys any command given to them by creatures you designate when you cast the spell, designating Dane, Faust, myself, and my simulacrum.
And how long does this last?
7 days, and if I cast it once every 7 days for a year, it becomes permanent. Which is easy enough to do because I can fast travel back here.
You
Yep.
don't even have to fast travel back there. It's just like
Open the pinhole.
Cast.
Yeah, I don't even have to. I don't have to fast travel.
you fast travel your fingertip.
We'll have to go scouring the world for diamonds.
Yes. Yeah, we have to do that.
It's only 500 gold a diamond.
It's a fancy world. Diamonds are everywhere. Actually, same with the real world. There's
Yeah.
There are literal diamonds everywhere on Earth.
all right. So
It's curious carbon and powder.
you have you were given a list, by the way, of all of the people who were officials in their own cities beforehand.
And I start handpicking with Toriel's help people who are actually worth something.
Roll me insight checks.
I want to start going through this as well because I have my own
And with his help.
people. I'm a good judge of character.
I got 19.
4,
What's your insight? Like that?
2.
Oh wow.
22.
So the two of you were able to override Terrell's bad decisions.
Him?
That's never been true before.
Yeah.
I'm always able to override Toriel's bad decisions.
As the 2 of you, though.
All right. All right. You've been able to reestablish a sense of order in the city. You guys have more money. I think we've had a good day.
Spend another night selling stuff.
That's gonna be awkward because all the people in the city have spent their money on like.
Well, but you go.
No,
that's
we're not
right.
selling stuff in the city. We're selling stuff around the world.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna go to a different place.
All right. We'll try one more place then.
I want to go help this time.
Sure. Faust and Taro.
All right. Make me whoever's making the persuasion check. Whoever's doing the selling.
I'll get it.
And you get advantage from someone aiding you.
No, I get advantage on mine also.
There you go. Plus a massive persuasion bonus that you have.
19.
Okay. 585 GP.
Yay. 6.
Uh, 1630. No, 1629.
Yeah, 1629.
All right.
Yeah, no, we weren't selling to people in the city. We were selling to people around the world.
Yeah.
Because I can teleport.
Town to town, selling everything you can find.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's most of the day, is like making sure all of these new appointees are either first captain of the guard, new captain of the privateering fleet, both of those coordinated, make sure people are aware, new fortress, and then start going through the list of other people that are going to be appointed in the following days.
Now, as far as setting up the city, how militaristic versus benevolent are we going?
I think we're going on an even split here, because Dane is benevolent in charge of the military.
And you know exactly which side of this I'm swinging. But,
Yes. But I think it's definitely guard forces present around the city to protect for dragons, but the bureaucracy has a lot more power over the people now because they need to make sure the people are comfortable and working and doing their jobs and not rebelling.
Sounds like a plan. Alright. You all reunite that evening. Ish, because
Which
time
evening?
zones. Evening in the land of Croatia.
Which one is that?
Croatia's the China land.
Okay. Oh, we've managed to turn an amount of the treasure into gold.
Good.
Still have plenty left to sell.
You're ready to start acting as court wizard.
Could I have, in the time that we've been, in the days that we've, could I have refreshed my simulacrum?
I mean, if you want to spend more money, yeah.
Yeah, could I steal the ruby dust required again?
Well, that person is out of ruby dust and hasn't ordered any more because he's curious about what happened to his last stuff.
Oh, damn. Could I find ruby dust, actually, could I find ruby dust elsewhere?
I mean, yes, but you're not sure exactly where it would be.
Oh. Yeah, the simulacrum comes in. Certainly.
Do we need to go find a bunch of gnomes that can tunnel around and find
Yes,
stuff?
ruby
for us?
dust. If we could get
Rob people, please.
ruby dust would be valuable. Yes.
Well, I mean, just find
Or
a
if we
bunch of
just
miners.
find a bunch of
What?
rubies and let me crush
What
them.
like material resources does this city have? What does it thrive off of?
Agriculture and fishing.
Agriculture and fishing? Okay.
Not mining.
No mining.
Yeah. The reason it survives so well is because food is its natural resource, and when cities go under siege, suddenly luxury items get a whole lot less important.
Yeah.
And this town can feed this many people.
I mean, for now, the simulacrum is still full health and has an amount of power still. So
Also, when you said, the lower end of the city living in slums, like, what degree of food shortage is there? Because I'm curious now that we hopefully...
No one's literally starving.
Okay. Because now that we're working on the whole having a better navy thing, hopefully that could expand their overall territory that they can fish in. So hopefully that would increase food supply to the city as well.
We have just created, even though there are 100 invisible servants, they don't have to work. So we've just created at least 100 more jobs.
Well, I mean, but you also have to figure out payment. Like, you can't just create jobs, there has to be payment and food and stuff. But, like he said, with increased naval power comes increased fishing zone areas.
Yeah.
Recruiting from the refugees for both purposes, that sort of thing.
Also makes trade easier because now we can defend trade lines that are going further out.
Yes, you can now trade with Dai Cho.
Yeah.
Which is the land of the north.
Yep.
Which is where you're heading, I believe.
Yes.
All right.
Well, waiting for our dragon friend to return.
Yes, she does return that evening. She flies and lands on the fortress, reverts to a human-looking form, and walks down to meet you. There's
Impressed.
no Dren on that island as far as I can tell.
He's probably on the other continent.
Oh, I don't know where he is. Still,
True.
worth
Could be
looking into.
anywhere.
I need a diviner.
We have access to one. You've met her before.
Yes.
Dren is a sorcerer of great power, you said, right?
Yes.
I can only imagine that he's taken actions against your scrying.
Likely.
Well, we've cleaned up our mess.
Thank you. Hopefully it's a habit you can stay in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
It's
a
one
wreck
I'd
in
much
fortresses
prefer.
in every town.
Regardless, I shall ensure that the...
Would you like to take this man's position? So, indicating my altered form. Because I certainly don't want
I
it.
have better things to do with my time. Well, you've done satisfactorily, I suppose. I have things to do. Besides, it is not my will to reside among mortals. I believe we already had that discussion. She walks out of the tower, reverts back to dragon form, and flies off.
Now that this is set up, I need a replacement for myself.
Yes.
For now, we can now that we've only recently been able to trade further, you can journey off on our original destination, and that will at least take care of him for a week or so. In that time, we can plan some kind of coup or whatever it may be that would remove him from power.
If you would like, once we acquire more power and ruby dust, I can make a second you as well.
I don't think you want another me.
Not really.
I could also make a second him.
I don't want to second him.
No.
One that obeys my every command.
No, not.
No,
No,
it would
we're
be
not
easier
making
just to
another
do,
him.
We need a permanent solution that hopefully doesn't rely on
coming back every week and casting another
strings
spell.
and puppets. That would be preferable.
He's not a lord, but I wonder how since Taku's reorganization of the government has gone.
Maybe we could passport over there and find out.
You're not just going to convince this entire government to become a vassal state of a revolutionary.
Sure, if this is quite since
I know you have a way with words.
No, I don't think I'll be able to pull that one now, but someone might be able to.
You may very well at least
I-
know someone who can.
Yeah,
He's been on-
he may also know someone who can take a position of leadership from me.
Someone trustworthy.
Perhaps we could work out this solution if we see what exactly we're getting into.
The Duke wants to retire. The bureaucracy can take over, I think.
You need more of an
So
explanation.
soon?
No, you need
Very
to, yeah,
young.
you need a.
He's got quite a lot of wealth and could quite easily stop worrying about dragon attacks that he has to protect a city from.
One thing you know that he always was ambitious.
He's got bigger things to worry about.
Well, no, ambitious as in politically powerful ambitious.
Yeah.
So,
You need some sort of a story, some sort of an excuse that they will believe.
For now, I think we can travel on with our original mission, and
Yeah,
depending on what happens with
Also,
Kretz Mahal, if Kretz Mahal does not pose any further risk and we can perhaps get rid of him or whatever he may be plotting quickly, then we can return to this city and start doing a more proper transfer of power. If we see that it may take longer, that this is just the beginning of some rabbit hole, as
everything else.
unfortunately it may be, then we can take a more drastic action.
right,
Then we can take a
Yeah,
risk.
just tell
Right.
everybody that you're going on a trip. And
right Galadir walks up. So long as you have me here and with you, if anyone needs you, we can simply have you back here at a moment's notice. Until we
How
have
good is the
this
communication between the two of you?
Perfect.
Across long distances?
We both in unison point at our staves.
When you're using that staff for something else?
I can get a message out.
Because my concern is that the one staying here needs to contact the one that is over there who is not aware and has the staff.
Hang on a second. Let me see if this is a ritual spell.
What spell? Sending?
Yeah.
I do not believe sending is a ritual.
I think it is actually.
I don't know the spells well enough, I suppose.
I'm looking it up right now. Sending.
Sending is not a ritual.
Not a ritual.
It's not a ritual spell. One of the other massive number of spells that I have is. Let me check on this real quick. Hang on. Sorting through my spell book.
But do you not... Hold on, with Simulacrum.
I don't know that Simulacrum has.
Within range.
Yeah, we have telekinetic. We have a telekinetic bond within range.
But there is no... Hold on. No. It obeys spoken commands. Yeah, so no, you don't have any sort of link to it.
If I could learn telepathy, that'd be great.
Yeah, you have no means of communication in that regard.
Ritual spells.
And this is my concern, is that lines of communication are not strong enough.
Well,
Without a figurehead here, that presents a problem.
I agree.
Well, would Dane be enough of a figurehead if you were out for a while?
For a few days.
Just for a few days. I mean, just tell everybody it's just for a few days, and everybody will
You've
continue
only-
to work as though you're still still in charge.
I can have I can establish a sort of a regular series of contacting myself intervals every few hours or so. And that's enough time that it's easy enough to stall if someone needs something. And if it's an emergency, the simulacrum just holds up the signet ring that I'm assuming he's been given.
Yeah.
We can just tell them for now that Dane will be in charge for a few days when you travel with us.
The Duke is off on a new conquest, of course.
And then when we come back, we can figure something out.
Or at least,
before we
Yeah,
leave
that's
this
probably
place.
best.
I loathe ruling.
Sorry.
But you're so good at it.
or perhaps only tell the people that need to know that he's gone. Most of the town probably
Most of the
doesn't need to
town
know that he's
care.
left.
Yeah,
Actually, I
nobody
think-
care, 'cause
I think if the Duke leaves to much fanfare and ceremony, it'd be more appropriate and would explain to everyone why he would be gone for some time. A sending off of his ship.
yeah, something like that. That way everybody will.
The town has been prepared for defense.
Yeah, it's been
The Duke
prepared.
is leaving for a new conquest.
And you've got enough individuals working, that you sorted through to put in charge that they're all going to do pretty much what you told them to do.
And I will also set about making sure that a teleportation circle is prepared inside this fortress in addition to keeping it up.
That is a ritual, isn't it?
No, it's not, but I can just do that through my staff.
Oh, yeah.
I can just go once a day. Alright.
Take a look.
Arcane recovery. Got it.
Also, you can keep doing the Mighty Fortress every day.
Well, every 7 days.
Every 7 days, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing the Mighty Fortress anyway, so I'll go ahead and establish a teleportation circle as well inside the fortress,
Yeah.
so that we have like a proper base
Yeah.
on this this continent at least. Not that it matters, because I can just go. I've always wanted to establish like an actual fortress as a wizard. Like in a game. That's like on the bucket, like achievement unlocked. I've now A, cast the Mighty Fortress spell, and B, am going to be installing a permanent teleportation circle. Those are the things that you always want to do, but you can't ever do in like the constraints of a normal campaign.
Congratulations, you now have a base on both continents.
Yes.
Yes.
You now have another place to serve as your bootleg bag of holding.
I have a summer
Yes.
home. Yes. There's a vault in the fortress too, so it's like I'm gonna go ahead and move all of the riches to this vault in the fortress.
Yep.
A summer home.
It's good because it's still masquerading as the money that the Duke owns.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Technically the Duke owns.
Spoils of the conquest.
So in addition to making this fortress permanent, I'm also going to be recasting teleportation circle in the fortress every day through the
Of course.
staff. So
To
because
get a permanent teleportation circle.
I'm doing all the things that you never get to do in a traditional campaign.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
All right. So you're leaving with much fanfare.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
The
that's what
Duke
it
is leaving towards a new conquest.
All right. You board the boat. You set sail in the morning. All that good stuff. Or do you set sail on that evening?
Probably with the evening sun.
Evening stuff.
Well,
All right.
Trade delegation to the north.
You head. You probably those of you who sleep on the boat. Those of you who don't, watch the waves. It's a full day's voyage, so you don't arrive at Daicho until late the next day.
Also, during these several days, the Duke has taken a habit of just wearing Faust's robe because he doesn't want to bother with the Duke's old attire, and I feel like it's still something that looks
It's
intimidating
fitting.
enough.
It's still like nice.
Just and every day, using my arcane recovery, I'll cast a teleportation circle through the staff.
Yeah. Alright. You see your native home shores, ye.
Ooh.
You see before you a rather large island, but it's definitely an island. It's very mountainous, and there's a valley in the middle where there's a port, and it's just the most idyllic looking valley.
What were we headed here for other than Dren?
You're passing through here to get to
We're
Raslock.
passing through here to get, yeah.
The reason we're here is to go to Kretz.
We're trying to find out where Kretz Mahal is.
Okay, yeah.
So
We're
we're just
trying to
going-
find
going
out
Like
what
Drin
their
is sort of a
plans
side story. Because Kretz Mahal wasn't there,
Yeah.
and we're trying to figure out what's going on with him.
are and like what their plans are.
Kretz Mahal's the big bad. Dren is that annoying recurring boss.
Well, Kretz Mahal is a town, also.
Also, a demon.
Well, yeah, but he's also a dude.
And
He's
the-
also a town.
The demon is the one that we're curious about.
So, you arrive in Dai Cho. It is a city of humans, and there is a lot of trade, though, with the Goliaths that live in the mountains above.
Isn't that just like big rock? I forget what Cho is.
I'm not sure.
I know Dai is large.
Yes. So you as you come in, you're familiar with the city, and today happens to be a holiday.
Woo!
So there is a lot of sake. A lot of sake. And
Excellent.
as you pull into the port, you are greeted by this massive... He is a human, but like, he's almost 7 feet tall. He walks up to ship. Welcome to Dai Cho! Today is the Feast of Chunzi. Come on, a good time.
Oh, excellent.
This is completely different than the other side.
He lowers his hands to help you out of the boat.
Yeah, we depart the boat.
He pulls you out. He appears to be just the happiest dockhand. He's shirtless and rocking pecs to make a Goliath like jealous.
Are you jealous?
Hey, can his pecs absorb 1d12 plus Constitution damage? I don't.
Potentially.
Okay, maybe.
He might be able to.
Looking
He
at
might
him,
be a human
you
using the
strongly
Goliath.
suspect that
find
he's
out?
half Goliath.
Do you want me to find
That
out?
would make sense.
Not until we're off the boat. He's not back to his normal self until we're off the boat because we need to be away from servants who recognize him.
You go to the boat, and there's just the biggest party going on in the city. The Goliaths have come down. There's a lot of drinking, but as opposed to some of the drinking you find, this is like lighthearted, happy drinking. It reminds you of the way the dwarves drink.
But almost immediately, as soon as there's an opportunity and he's out of like sight of the boat, he's back to himself because he hates that form.
So does Tar.
And a bunch of people, like just on the streets, run up to you and just begin asking you questions about your exploits and what deeds you've done, and they're fascinated.
Ask him.
Because
Yeah.
they're fascinated by you people because like, oh, you know, it's so cool that you're a different race and everything, and you come from different lands.
Dragon man with wings.
That must mean you have so many awesome stories to tell. In particular, they're fascinated by the gnome and the elf that doesn't have black skin.
And is wearing clothes.
Yes, and is wearing more than a loincloth and the skull of
Just,
enemies.
just like sort of like leaning back as they get close.
Congratulations, you've gone from extreme xenophobia to extreme
Xenophilia.
xenophilia.
No,
Your bubble is being all sorts of invaded.
please back away.
Don't touch.
Personal space.
Personal.
So
People never heard
to
of personal
clarify,
space.
they actually are. The personal space is never invaded. You know, they're not touchy-feely. You know, but there are very.
My personal bubble is a lot larger than most people's.
Your mental bubble
Yeah.
is being invaded.
They're undressing you with their minds.
I don't even address me.
I believe that.
So are you staying for any period of time, or are you trying to get the heck out of here as quickly as possible?
We just need to pass
I think
through
we're just
it.
passing
Are we
through.
looking for anything in particular? We're not really looking for anything, are we?
Are you dropping your children off, or are you taking your children with you to Razlok?
What's Razlock?
Razlok is the continent of the Dark Elves.
Ooh, yeah, no.
I mean, were we not leaving them in the fortress?
No.
I thought we were going
I don't trust that place.
Probably not a good idea.
Yee's family is in town.
No,
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask.
not the
Because-
town, the fortress.
You haven't seen them yet, but you know they live around here.
True.
Oh.
Is this the place you come from?
What gave it away?
all these guys.
I just point.
Does,
Upwards.
Yeah.
does your family live here?
And make sure the gnome doesn't get stepped on.
People are probably just flocking.
These people are definitely good, hospitable folk. I know enough people that I would trust.
I'm confused. I thought this was where the tyrants were coming from.
No, the tyrants are coming from the other end of this place.
Oh.
This is the happy place.
Yeah, these are the Northern Islands.
I know. The way people have been talking about tyrants of the north,
Ah.
Galadir's been assuming the islands.
Yep.
This is happy. Fluffy
No.
bunnies and rainbows.
No, we're passing through the celebratory place to get to the tyrants.
Well, no, we're passing it to the Dark Elves. The tyrants are actually on the northern coast,
Oh yeah.
where we just came from.
Yeah. Well, the Dark Elves can be called tyrants. I don't know.
But Galadir was going to get confused.
This is the different kind of tyranny.
Here?
This is the tyranny of hospitality and good drink and cheer.
We could spend a little time here.
This is worse than Stockholm and you're from.
Yes.
Well, at the very least, find a place for the children to stay while we journey into much more inhospitable lands.
It is also worth noting, by the way, that none of you stand out that much, because for every one of you that's odd, there is, an 8-foot tall person with neon blue or pink or something hair.
Cool.
Because
My hair
everyone on
looks-
the Northern Islands has anime hair.
My hair looks
It is genetic.
somewhat
Or white.
calm by
Silver.
comparison.
Plenty of silver.
This is true. That is anime hair.
Yeah,
You just have this. That's Japanese protagonist hair.
yeah. How much? And black, because that's also anime hair.
Yes,
Too many
it's
people.
Strong colors is what we're saying.
Yes.
No weak colors.
no
pathetic
blondes
colors.
or browns or ash
No,
colors.
there are blondes, but they're platinum blonde. It is the
They're
most.
blonde, but it's like shiny golden
it
blonde.
is the
It's
most
Super
blonde.
Saiyan blonde.
It is either Super Saiyan blonde or platinum blonde. There are no other blondes.
Yeah.
And brown is specifically chestnut brown. Nothing else. The most brown to have a brown of brown.
All right. So, what do you guys? Are you staying the night, or are you getting out of here as soon as?
I'm not
reasonable?
staying the night here. No, I've got a comfy fortress I can tell you.
I've got a mansion that I can conjure.
Now that I've seen this place, I can come back to it.
It's like I've seen this place.
I've
I
unlocked.
can come back to
I've
it.
unlocked the map marker.
I think we should just head off and do what we're supposed to do.
Well, we need to find a place to put the children.
Find a place to...
I can find places. I can find people.
Alright,
You
then
find you know exactly where to go. You travel through and you find the one open air market, and you all see this just lots of dancing, and as soon as they see you, yee! And like three giant people run up and all just like lift him off the ground in a giant like brute bear hug. How has it been? Oh, how many monsters have you slain? How many wrongs have you righted? Sorry, too much sake. How much sake have you drunk? They pull out a barrel with a spout.
I'll check that.
More drinks than I can count.
Well, here's one for the return. Come on.
And now, more than I can count, +1.
Roll me a
Sure.
Constitution saving throw.
That I can make.
I will partake using my mug.
Ooh. Da-da-da-da.
Uh-oh. We might have to pick him up.
I get an insane bonus on my Constitution saves.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, you do. Right, so...
15.
Yeah. No, this is good, strong sake, but you can stomach it.
You know.
I come over with my mug, of course, and just drink it.
Oh, there's not any left by the time he's done with his barrel.
Oh,
That's not how Goliath drinks sake.
that's fine.
This is madness. Leaving a drop left. There's all sorts of incredible congeniality and the like. It's all very overwhelming and friendly. These are all genuinely good people.
You know, I can respect them for what they have, at the very least.
I'll start regaling with stories.
You regale, they regale. There's lots of regaling.
You
People
know,
seem to
you
take
said
turns
you realized
regaling.
There was more than one Sensaku? Well, that's more than one Sensaku and more than one year.
It's a whole village.
A whole village of both.
Some of the women rush over and immediately begin adoring on Kai. Kai is, of course, only too happy to be adored on. And, you know, Gora does well. She's...
Suck.
Well, you know, Gora likes that they're good people. You know, it's like, genuine, kind-hearted people.
What a change of pace.
Yes.
Totally.
She's perfectly okay with, like, she was able to find, like, there are actually a couple corners where the less social people are just sort of talking, and she quickly finds one in.
Yeah. She's like, I have a very close circle, and it's my family, and not a lot of other people, so I'm just going to find a quiet spot.
Yeah. Like, there's one or two other people sitting at a table, like, they're sipping sake, and they're just sort of, you know...
What not chugging? Blasphemy.
I mean, hey, just because most of them are overwhelmingly extroverted doesn't necessarily mean that all of them have to be.
Yes.
Tarl's gonna start dancing.
Roll me a performance check.
Um, 29.
All right.
This close to meeting the impossible DC.
The crowd so the musicians immediately shift to a song to suit whatever kind of dance you're doing. What kind of dance are you doing?
Happy, upbeat.
Like a folksy jig, or are you doing more of an entrancing?
More like no, actually, no. She's gonna do more entrancing.
Like you, all right. You're able to find there are scarves everywhere. You find a pair of red silk scarves. You'd be doing a not seductive scarf dance.
Yes.
Dance of the Seven Veils, but I've only got two.
No, Dance of the Seven Veils is definitely a
It's
seductive
gonna be a
scarf
short
dance.
dance.
And people begin clapping and stomping, and they play a much more, like, it's still upbeat, but it's got a lot less fiddliness to it, if you know what I mean. A lot more wind instruments.
And the
I gotta
percussion
get a
is
Genji Akari on hand.
the percussion is quite heftily augmented by the sounds of shields bashing.
Sir, you cannot get your... The percussion instrument is called the planet.
And I will
There's a
contribute.
lot of stomping.
And I will contribute to it.
Welcome to Stomp the Yard 3 Goliath Edition.
This is how earthquakes happen.
Well,
That's how the mountains were really formed.
if we're...
No, that's how the valley was formed. They meet here every year and do the dance.
I am levitating off the ground as the ground begins to shake. I just levitate like half a foot off the ground. Just
Alright. Why not? If we're going to be staying here for the evening, might as well make the best impression. And there's just this seeping of blackness off of his shoulders as he casts the illusory dragon spell, and it just starts circling above the... Just, like, being loud and impressive and roaring, and not, like, actually attacking or intimidating anything, just being impressive.
Alright, they can get behind this, What's the little one doing?
Trying not to get stepped on. All the stomping, he's bouncing around.
It's messing up your notes.
You can feel the earth
Like
shudder
that,
every beat.
Carefree, happy.
It's, you know the dragon fireworks from...
Oh yeah, no,
from,
I that's exactly what's in my head right now.
Yeah.
Back and forth questions with them. They're interested in me. I'm interested in them.
Oh, okay, you're doing the whole anthropology thing.
Yes.
You're learning a lot about There are no secrets on this island. None. You ask a question and you get the longest answer.
I after a while watching this go on, I just sort of recline back in the air. So I'm doing the stereotypical wizard thing of sitting down with no chair, just sort of reclining so that I'm not touching the ground as it shakes.
And what's Duncan doing?
Sampling the local brew.
There's a lot of local brew. I'll make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, well, 11?
With advantage.
Oh,
I'm assuming you're using your own
I'm
bug
doing
as
the
well.
Shinji card.
Yeah.
Like Faust is just like
I'm rolling
sitting like on a stool like this, and there's just
I think
shadow
your
pouring
mom
off
thinks
him
you
as
wanna
he
get
just
into
keeps
a
his eye on
drinking
the dragon
contest.
soaring
Yeah?
through the air.
Next to at the same height, Gallagher
Your
sitting
mug
on the stool.
insists
Yeah.
that you're capable of drinking literally every ounce of alcohol on this continent, on this island.
No, on this continent.
So yeah, you find like this is some
On
of the
this continental
best stuff. You've passed through here before because that's the only way to get from Razlock to the mainland.
Right.
But it wasn't a festival then, so.
There's this visual off to one side of Faust and Galadir sitting next to each other, and it's just Galadir sitting on the air and Faust sitting on a stool, and there's just like blackness pouring out from Faust as he's keeping his eye on the dragon in the air and directing it. Just
So after she stands for a while, she's going to try to grab Faust to come dance with her.
you know this is going to end poorly. I'm directing a dragon
yes.
right now.
Oh,
Doesn't Torel care?
I am
No, she doesn't
actively
care.
directing a dragon right now. This is a
doesn't
bad
care.
idea.
she doesn't care.
He's going to try and resist because he's directing a dragon.
It'd be a bad time for me to cast Luke's Irresistible Dance, wouldn't it?
No, this would be the best time for you to cast
Auto's
Irresistible.
irresistible dance.
Otto's Irresistible Dance.
You have that spell prepared.
I do not have it prepared.
Ah, you have failed.
Oh no.
You've done so many great things as a wizard, but
I have
this is
it.
the,
I just
this
don't
is the
remember.
defining moment.
I mean, I could,
I'm sorry.
I could Arcane Recovery to have it.
She's trying to like pull him.
Roll-
That
roll
gives you
athletics
spells.
checks.
That gives you spell
I use spell
slots back.
slots, not spells.
True.
That's sorry.
Athletics.
That's That's what the 19th level wizard thing or something like that.
Athletics.
Yeah.
Wait, 9.
13 on it. 13 specifically because of what I
Did your
rolled.
double have it at the time?
Alright, you try to pull him in, but he sits there stubbornly. As that happens, one of the Goliaths runs over and offers to join you as a dancing partner.
Alright, she starts dancing.
Alright, you begin dancing with the Goliaths.
And you get the message in your mind, this kind of dance is entirely not my speed in the first place.
You have a great grand night. Dancing. You have a grand night. Your morning may be slightly different.
Slightly.
You regale everything. You learn a lot of useless stuff. Like, it's fascinating. But man, they like to talk, and like their propensity. Like, you're guessing everything they say is at least kind of true, but you doubt that anything they say is completely true. Everything is hyperbole. Everything. Everything. Also, whenever you try to figure out like how tall they are, you're getting like wrestling
Oh, no, I
build
know that.
heights as opposed to their actual heights.
It's a bard specific spell.
Turns out, when you've got an entire society of
Yeah.
people that are 8 feet tall, they have a tendency to be larger than life.
Yeah.
In many regards.
Yeah. Faust and Senstaku, this goes on
Since
for
Taco appears?
whatever.
But, no, the other one.
Faust and Galadir.
Years.
I feel like you should totally
The sun
do
has
that.
set, and there's absolutely no sign that this is going to end.
I've only got a minute for the dragon, so after a minute goes up, it goes
Because
away.
guess what? They can all make Constitution saving throws to dance all day long.
Well, I guess I will check back in on you all in the morning. I open a portal back to the fortress.
Have a good rest.
What are you doing, Faust?
He just like finds an area that's not too perfectly trodden
Right.
and just doorway.
And actually, I open up the pinhole back next to Faust. Oh, we still have things to sell, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Deal with that in the morning.
Alright, you go and your thing. You all have a great night. Thankfully, the mug thinks that hangovers are for lamos.
Yeah.
the morning, you notice that Goliaths aren't morning people for some strange reason.
I wonder
It's
why.
very quiet in the morning.
I come back through after doing my daily casting teleportation circle.
All right, let's figure out what reading you get.
Yes.
Oh, were you getting readings over the past 3 days? By the way?
Oh yes, that's fair.
3 days.
Did I get anything new over the past like several days?
Oh, I almost forgot.
3, yeah.
Several days have passed.
Yes, you would have.
Draw 3 cards.
So on the first day, you get boop. Oh, come on.
Yeah, the only kind of dancing that Faust does as a Dragonborn is basically a very like waltz, kind of very like slow and formal.
The only dance Galadir does is none.
He doesn't. Gallagher does is the nope. It's got a whole lot of nope in it. All right, so you see the figure
Dance on the graves of my foes.
of a half-elven man wearing a plain white tunic, holding open the mouth of a lion that is standing next to him.
What's inside?
Temperance.
No, not temperance at all. The lion, you suspect the lion could resist if it wanted, but it seems okay with the situation at hand. This is actually strength.
No, right. Strength is always the lion. I keep forgetting the strength is the lion.
Well, and you don't know the individual shown.
White colorization with a big cat, and it's not Senstaku?
No.
Wow.
No, the individual's a half-elf with tanner skin than most half-elves would be normally. And he is broadly built for a half-elf. And with it, for the day, you get advantage on wisdom and strength saving throws.
Well, that day's passed already.
Yeah, that day's passed. But you can attempt to recall it if you want to.
Yes.
You've already gotten that result. So we're gonna go to... Ah! You've actually seen this. You've actually met this person.
Oh, hi.
So you see the figure, a figure you're familiar with, Sandra, in her strange attire, has been changed out for a robe, and she is leaning on what could sort of be called a throne, except that it seems to be made of silks and pillows, and it sits in a field with trees behind it. It is the Empress. The Empress.
The Empress of Tomorrow. Oscar's gonna kill you.
For the rest of the day,
I'm gonna make a female barbarian that's named Oscar. It's just Oscar's gonna kill you.
for the remaining of the day, you have the ability to speak with animals.
Okay. So that was that one.
That was gone. And now for the day that we're on. Ah. All right. You see the image of a woman, perfect-looking woman, naked and floating. There's a sheet that's sort of loosely wrapped around her, but doesn't actually cover anything, floating in the middle of a wreath. And then there's the head of a bull, and a lion, an eagle, and a woman in each corner. The woman in the center is reminiscent. She is the Stitcher.
Mm.
For the rest of the day, you are proficient in strength saving throws, dexterity saving throws, and constitution saving throws.
Okay. And is that the day that we're taking a rest in now?
You're waking up
Okay.
from that day.
Okay, so this is
Today,
a new day.
today you're proficient in all physical saving throws.
Okay. Proficient in everything but intelligence saving throws right now.
Yes.
Random patron.
Yes. Well, and as he finds things, he can go back and be like, hey, I know what we're going to come across today. I would like my dragon breath a lot, or I'd like proficiency saving throws. All right. So, you wake up. It's very quiet. You could leave without any ta-da if you wanted to.
Hole in reality opens up, walk back through.
Leave the children here.
I'm assuming you have people that can take care of them.
Yeah, I would have.
Oh yeah, you would have arranged it last night.
Before everyone passed out.
They should be taken care of here. We'll be safe.
Make sure to get the point across that, yeah, no, they don't have Goliath constitutions. Also, no, don't give them sake.
I mean, they would give it to Kai, but Gora's perfectly old enough for sake. What are you talking
At
about?
14, 15.
I mean, actually, in that time period.
Yeah.
Just a thing.
Right.
Like, no, they're not going to drown her in sake, but
To be fair, she also has +2 to her constitution because she's a half-orc.
yeah,
So,
she can drink.
she can probably drink better than Faust can, I'll be honest.
All right. So you get on the ship and set sail.
I'll basically just give some quick notification of, that we're heading off again. Nothing too long,
Yes.
But,
Well, Faust, looks like you're going to put on your new skin again.
We're not sailing anything. We're continuing to sail?
We're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go sail.
We're sailing to another island.
Yeah, but we're going to
You're
the
commissioning.
evil
You're commissioning a new ship on the northern end of the island.
Yeah, so we don't have to go on that same ship again.
Okay, good.
You can be normal here.
Yeah.
So we,
Because this is much less friendly waters. So you sail for most of the day.
and actually, while I'm there, I want some sake for the road,
Okay. You easily they give you a barrel of sake.
Excellent.
All right.
Congratulations.
You sail for the day, and as evening falls, you see the densest jungle that anybody except for Duncan has ever seen.
Denser than the Wood Elven Kingdoms and lands?
Oh yeah. You can't see the island. You can't see land. The trees end in some sort of weird twisted vines that go into the water. As you approach, the ship leader hurls a rope around one of the vines. This is where you get off. Ship can't touch land, so you'll have to wade in.
I will open a portal to the shore.
yeah.
You can't see that far.
No, but I can open one up and then just to find a clear area.
Alright, you move the pinprick through, and you're able to find a spot to crawl through.
I think we'll be quite fine, thank you.
Best not getting in the water anyway. The leeches are terrible around here. Oh, watch out for the mosquitoes.
Okay.
I'll be certain to.
Fortunately, my skin is armor.
You'd think that would help, wouldn't you?
I didn't need to say that loud.
Alright. Welcome to Razlock.
I'm sure that's the only welcome we'll be getting.
How big are these?
Well, the only warm one.
How long did it take us to
The
get
other ones will be cold. Made of
Rest
steel.
of the day.
Rest of the day? So I would have
Steel? What's
asked
steel?
questions about what sort
Fascinating.
of
Sorry, it's a mental
wildlife
dwarves have been
or
developed.
Alright.
I forget the
So-
elves that have it.
The person you probably want to ask about the wildlife of Razlock is actually Duncan.
Yeah, so I would have asked.
Because he lived here in the wilds for years.
Duncan, what can you tell us about this place?
I just point. Look.
So to give you the basic rundown,
Yeah.
the big things around here are sort of dangerous. It's the small things that will kill you. The insects, the ant swarms will eat you alive. There are diseases spread by the insects.
I'm immune to disease.
Thank goodness.
And I can cure disease.
Good.
Finding fresh water is one of the most dangerous things. It's almost always raining, so you always want to drink the rainwater. You never want to drink water that's actually in a stream.
Or create food and drink.
Yeah.
Yes, do that.
Thankfully, high-level characters can generally bypass this sort of thing.
Especially high-level
Make
clerics
a
and
mansion.
paladins.
So what are we doing here again?
You're going to Kretz Mahal,
As it turns out, I can,
capital city of the Dark Elven Empire.
with lay on hands, I can cure diseases 15 times a day. Take
As
that,
far as
mosquitoes.
the wildlife itself, again, like I said, it's not the most dangerous thing as long as you can avoid the diseases and parasites. There are several failed experiments that wander through: loose demons, hybrid demonic creatures, tieflings and tieflings and orcs that have escaped their slavery, that are none too happy about it. Just sort of a bad place to be.
I got my 4th level spells back, right? Dimension Door and Shadow and Loyal?
Yes, I'm pretty sure you did.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry, I'm really bad at keeping track of which ones I have and which ones I don't.
Yeah, you went. No, you didn't. No,
No?
you didn't get those back.
Okay.
Like I said, you need to go bowling with Duncan.
Bowling.
Seriously, you guys need a die night or something.
Has his attempt on my life not increased that relationship score?
Actually, yeah, no, that seems fair. The next time you draw a card, you will draw the 4 of Pentacles, and this animosity will give you those back. I like your argument. You may have them back.
Which actually,
Okay.
actually no, because your animosity was sufficiently reversed with me, so.
Yes.
So it has to go.
Okay. I have prepared my spells then with the knowledge of what we may or may not.
Aside from her, I think you're the person in the party that I have the strongest bond with right now.
Alright, you made landfall, and I think we'll trek through the jungles into the Dark Elven City next week.
All right. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
But